right, do you guys journal?
No, not really.
Do you understand what journaling is, though? Write your thoughts down.
Yeah.
Why or why don't you journal? Just a question.
Me personally, I've never really thought about journaling my thoughts out. I've done it before. Sometimes when I'm super stressed or I'm going through something, I write it down and I just get it all out on my notes app, and then I just reflect on it.
Okay, boom. Why or why don't you journal?
I don't journal because it doesn't really seem to be effective towards me. I'm more of when I'm having something stressful, rather than writing out, I pray about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my journaling, I guess.
Okay, so I guess my next question would be, what value do you see in journaling? If you were to journal, what's the reasons why you would do it? To get your thoughts out. Let me go get some paper. I told y'all to get some paper. Let me get some paper. I'm gonna get my journal. Oh, take it everywhere I go. It's my best friend.
How long have you been journaling?
So I've journaled off and on my entire life because initially I didn't know why I journaled. I just journaled because I put my thoughts out. This is what happened during my day. And I started journaling consistently June 2022. Now, we'll get to why we're talking about journaling. I don't have any specific agenda. We're just talking. And you pulled that notebook out, and I was like, ooh, that looks like a journal. I wonder if she journals. That's where this conversation came from. But it's all, because you pray, you have faith. Do you have faith, regardless of what it is?
Yeah.
Belief in a higher power, there's something else besides you, or no, you don't have to.
I feel like I'm really in between. I'm just on the edge. I don't really.
You ain't really seen nothing, so until you see something,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's just but at the same time, I also don't really care. I don't know, just never really been so into it to really have I guess faith or belief or whatever.
Okay, boom. I just need to know how to talk to you guys. All right, so I started journaling June 2022, and the reason why I journal now is for documentation. Because your life hold up, boom. There is roster. What are your names? Well, no, never mind. Hold on, real quick. Hold on. V and D. You guys know that you're important, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that you are on this earth for a reason. Whether we know what the reason is, because has anyone ever talked to you about why you're here? Or have you ever thought about why you're here? Has anyone ever talked to you about why you're here? Have you ever thought about why you're here?
Yeah.
Okay, so you understand we're here for something.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the reason why I journal is not, when I first started journaling, it was, okay, this is what happened in my day, but now when I'm dealing with something or I'm trying to figure something out, when you sit and you put the pen to the paper, it gives you an opportunity to collect your thoughts. So when you're verbally speaking, that's one way of getting it out. But when you're writing it down, now you're connecting a different part of your brain. So now you're connecting the pen to the paper. That's a whole different energy than the word of mouth. And so are your thoughts, whether you pray out loud or you pray in your head. So now when you're writing it down, now you're actually, it's hard to explain, but you're speaking to yourself. And now you offer the opportunity for your higher power or spirit to speak back. They may speak to you this way because I speak to source energy or spirit all kinds of ways, right? But when you write it down, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm frustrated about, this is what I'm excited about. And now you can start writing down all the possibilities, and you can actually write yourself out of a space. So if you're feeling sad, you can start talking to yourself, why do I feel this way? I feel this way because of this. well, is this a reason for me to feel sad? And because I've felt sad before about the same thing, did it get me the desired result, right? We can choose to be upset about something. Like yesterday, said she found out that her crush has a girlfriend. She wanted her crush to be her boyfriend, but she found out he has a girlfriend. All right. I was just like, well, why do you think that he chose this particular person? Well, they're two different races. And so she said, well, I think it's because I'm black. And I said, well, first of all, if you believe that he chose someone else besides you because you're black, he's never going to be your boyfriend, because he's never going to be attracted to you because you're not the nationality or race that he's attracted to. So for her to choose to continue to be upset about something out of her control, is that beneficial or not?
No.
It's not. So now off top, we understand she doesn't need to be sad about somebody not liking her because she's not the right race. Like, you're never going to be attractive to him. Secondly, she said that the little girl goes to, when I say little girl, it's because I'm an adult, you know, she said the young lady goes to a different school than him. And so I was like, okay, so if we can say he has a choice of all the girls in this school, and he went to a whole nother school to find his girlfriend, and he's in the 8th grade, so he doesn't have a car. So it's not like he can get up and go visit his girlfriend. Why do you ladies think, are you ladies, they, thems, what are we? Ladies? Okay. Why do you ladies think that he would choose a girlfriend that's way at another school? Why do you think?
I don't know. I feel like putting it into like if I were in his shoes, I feel like in a way, I feel like I understand, because here obviously we have like no seniors in our class, and like it's literally no one. So I guess like I understand like not finding someone like in your school, and like not like connecting with someone, because I feel like I understand that, because here it's really hard to like connect with people and like make like connections. So
So boom. Okay, so now, and this is why we journal, right? We're figuring something out. This has made me sad. So let's figure out. What we are figuring out is he has a girlfriend. He has a girlfriend at another school. He has a girlfriend. That's the problem.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all humor me and write that down, because I'm going to teach you how to not necessarily journal, but solve your own problems. If you know what? We're wasting time by solving one of her problems. What's one of y'all's problems? Or you want to solve her problem?
Let's solve her problem.
Okay, so boom. He has a girlfriend, so she's sad. She's sad. And I told her there's no need to be sad. And I said, okay, but you are sad, so I'm going to respect you. With that, tell me why you're sad. And she said because she's black, he's not. That's a potential why. So now we can say race is a factor. Write that anywhere. So he is not attracted to her because of her race. He is not attracted to her because her race. All right, so now we're looking at sadness. Is sadness a requirement or a choice?
I think in this situation, I don't know.
It can be both.
I think it's both.
It's both? What do you think?
I think it's just in effect. It's not. I don't think it's a choice or like
A requirement. I have to be sad. This happened. I have to be sad.
Yeah, I don't think it's a requirement or a choice. I think it's more of like it's just an effect of how it made you feel.
So give me more about an effect. Like something happened, so cause and effect. So it's a byproduct of something that happened.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Okay, so for me, I believe sadness is a choice. Which means if something happens, I can choose to be sad about it. Now, I choose to be sad about it, but because I know that I choose to be sad about it, I could decide how long I'm going to be sad about it, because I know that I'm choosing it. And if I work this out this way and say, okay, now why am I sad? Because why are you sad? I'm sad. Okay. Well, if I'm just committed to being sad, then I'm going to focus on being sad. But if I say, why are you sad? You're like, I'm sad because he has a girlfriend. Okay, why do you think he chose her over you? Well, first, because of our race. So now we're looking at, I'm sad because of a factor that is completely out of my control. He's not going to be attracted to me. So now we're looking at sad reasons, and we're going to say race, out of my control. So I'm going to say race, out of my control. So now when I look at a choice between, I guess the opposite of sad would be happy. Okay, so I'm going to put on the other side of sad, happy. And you can mark your paper up however you want to. This is what mine looks like so far. Because I'm just all over the place. I'm not, this is mind mapping. You know, this isn't, journaling is today. This is more mind mapping where you're just getting your thoughts out and you can make that look however you want to. So, all right, so if I'm sad because he has a girlfriend, but I believe maybe a reason why he has another girlfriend is because of my race, is that a reason to be sad? It's out of my control.
Yeah,
I can't control. Like, so if I'm sad he has a girlfriend, but now I'm deciding how deep into this sadness I want to be. And one of the reasons why I'm sad, and so this, we're gonna use a whiteboard too. We have 100% of sadness. And I know some percentage of that is because he didn't pick me because of my race. What percentage of the 100% of what I could be sad about should go to him choosing another race? Should it be a huge reason why I'm upset? Or should it be like, I'm not the right race? Should it be a big piece or a small piece?
Yeah, I think a small piece.
I think a small piece. That's completely out of my control, so I'm only going to give that 1% of my energy. So I have, if I'm allowed to be sad, because I am, right? I don't have to be sad, but I can choose to be sad, and I'm choosing it because I'm disappointed. That's honestly what it is. She wanted something she can't have and she's disappointed. But we still got to figure out why we're disappointed. She can't control this, so that shouldn't even really be a factor in her sadness. But we're going to give it 1%. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so whatever you're doing within your life, and you're like, okay, I call that the pie chart of life. So in any given situation, draw a circle and say, this is what I'm dealing with. I'm mad at my friend. Okay, draw a circle. Why am I mad at my friend? And now you're like, I'm mad at this individual because they did this. Okay, what percentage of my madness is that? Does it really matter? So maybe they said they were going to hang out with you, but now they can't hang out with you because they don't have a ride. That's out of their control. So yeah, you can be like, you could have planned ahead, yada, yada, whatever. But in the totality of why you're upset, the ride fell through. That's out of their control. So that gets 1%. I'm still annoyed by it, but that's really not why I'm mad. So you understand, we got to start looking at things as a whole instead of, I'm upset, I'm happy. Why are you happy? Because if you start picking down why you're happy, now you can start choosing happiness. You can choose sadness, you can choose happiness. And if you find out what makes you happy and why you're happy, because why am I happy? I'm happy because of this, and this. Well, how much of this actually impacts my happiness? This impacts my happiness. Now you can say, okay, now I know I actually value this. This makes me happy. I'm not happy, I'm this. And now you can go into situations looking for this. You understand? Mm-hmm. So boom. He chose a girl who does not go to their school. So we'll say he chose a girl who doesn't go to their school. He chose a girl who doesn't go to their school. And you said the pickings are slim here.
Yeah.
So maybe he chose because there's no choices here. What's another reason why he may have chose somebody who goes to a different school?
I think just because maybe it's just his preference not to be. Well, I don't know, cause he's so maybe it's a different way of thinking, but like maybe just isn't like mingling his like I don't know mingling his like friends or with his like girlfriend, or maybe like maybe he knows her from like a separate sort of life, and he wants to separate that from his friends. And
I love that. So we have to also understand that who you are in the 12th grade started when you were in. So it's not, well, he's developing who he's going to be in the 12th grade. So he could not want to mingle. We think just because they're younger, they don't have the language. You know, in you probably wouldn't have used that language when you said it, but you probably understood not mixing friends and stuff, you know. You understood separation. So when we're figuring stuff out, we can't say, well, that's too advanced for me. Anything's possible. If you could think about it, it's possible. And he probably thought about it. We don't know. We're just theorizing. So he doesn't like mingling his groups. There's no choices here. What I thought was, in order to be an online boyfriend or girlfriend, telephone boyfriend or girlfriend versus an in-person boyfriend or girlfriend, those are two different boyfriend and girlfriends, right? Mm-hmm. If my girlfriend is here, my boyfriend's here, I gotta talk to her, I gotta make her laugh, I maybe gotta hold her boobs, I gotta pay her attention. You know, that's a whole different energy than I call you when I can. Mm-hmm. So when she told me that he chose somebody who is at a different school, what I chose was, you know, he is seeking to be a distant boyfriend. He's not seeking to be an in-person boyfriend. Mm-hmm. So I say a distant boyfriend. Online boyfriend, whatever. All right. So, and then we got distracted about other reasons why she would be sad. But what would be some other reasons why she had her heart set on this guy who he never showed her that he was attracted to her? I tell her he was just born and he was good enough. Oh my God, you're cute. You're my crush. But he never talked to her. He never, you know, paid her any attention, never gave her any energy, but he's cute. So that's crush enough. So now she's sad. Why else would she be sad? Why would you be sad?
I think it's kind of like at first it started as like kind of like maybe a visual attraction, and that kind of grew as like she saw him more, and maybe like that kind of attraction, she kind of got attached to that attraction.
So she's attached to him or the attraction?
The attraction.
Boom. So she's attached to the attraction. That's good. I like the way I like the way both your brain works, but I like that. Attached to the attraction. All right. Why else would she be sad?
I feel like kind of adding on to that, it's like, maybe this isn't like your first crush, but like if it is, it's kind of like seeing like that person that you were attached to, I guess, or like the attraction, like it's kind of difficult now knowing that he has a girlfriend. So it's like, I wouldn't say it's weird, but like it's kind of strange to be like attached to this boy who has a girlfriend. So it's like, I don't really know, like, I'm not.
So is it the removing the attachment because now he has a girlfriend, so I have to stop having a crush on him?
Yeah,
or so how do you transition from that? How do you all of a sudden stop liking someone simply because they went a different direction? That's a whole nother conversation. Like, how do you stop? What if somebody's like, I don't want to be your friend anymore, and now you're like, but I still want to be your friend. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, that's a whole nother conversation. That's deep. So, so maybe she's sad about, now I have to find another crush.
Well, maybe not sad about like finding another crush, but
Mhm.
maybe sad like she has to distance herself from like that boy and like separate like her attraction and like kind of like, because if they were friends, like maybe if they were friends and she had a crush on him, now she can't really like view him like as a crush, like she has to put, I don't know.
Parameters.
Yeah, like
I like the way your brain works. All right. So how do we put that in words though? Because like I said, that's a whole nother can of worms. Like, you opened up something there. So how could we simplify that? She has to refocus her attention.
yeah, like
All right. So we'll say refocus. Or kind of bridle, which means pull back her feelings. She can't be attracted to someone she can't have. So maybe alter her feelings.
yeah, because I feel like being attracted to someone you can't have is just like it's different. Like it's like kind of sad. Like, because if you're already sad, just knowing that that person is with someone else and you can't really like be with them is also like sad. Like I don't know.
Yeah, you're choosing sadness then, right? You can't have them. So why are you even like? So now you got some self-control work to do. Now you have self-development work to do, because you know it makes absolutely no sense to want someone who doesn't want you. So on top of the immediate shock of he has a girlfriend now, and now I have to deal with those feelings, we also have to understand that I have to develop a form of self-control, because I cannot allow other people's choices to dictate my moods, right? So something outside of you did something. Something happened with it. You have to choose, are you going to allow it to upset you? It happened. Why are you going to manifest anger? It happened. Why are you going to manifest sadness? You understand, every minute that you spend upset, every minute that you spend sad, every minute you spend depressed, every minute you spend anxious, all of these negative expressions of your feelings. We're allowed to have these feelings, but they're not really helping us. They're keeping us stuck. So we have to decide, why are we manifesting these feelings? And if I know these feelings aren't helping me, how can I not manifest these feelings? Or if I do, I'm only going to be sad for a day. In the past, I'd be sad for a month. But I know it's not serving me, because every day I spend sad, I'm not moving myself forward. I'm not achieving my goals. So instead of a month now, I'm only sad for 3 weeks. Instead of 3 weeks now, I'm only sad for 2 weeks. Now I'm only sad for a week. Now I'm only sad for a day. And now when I'm sad, you know, I'm just like, I'm sad, but I understand being sad doesn't make sense. So my energy is low. And sometimes I do just stay in the bed. Sometimes I do just watch K-dramas. I love me a K-drama, y'all. You know, sometimes I do those things, but I'm not running all those negative thoughts through my head, because there's a part of where your energy drops because you're sad, and you're allowed to, your energy was high because you were hoping for something, and now you experience disappointment. So your energy can drop. But when your energy drops, what is your head doing? Oh, he doesn't like me because of this, or he didn't like me because of that. So you're tearing yourself down. That's a choice or a requirement to tear yourself down?
A choice.
It's a choice. What do you think? It's a choice. I believe it's a choice as well. There's no wrong answers, because if you believe that it's something and you can tell me why you believe it, now we can have that conversation, and I can see your perspective, and you can you can see my perspective. I believe it's a choice as well. I can experience disappointment. I can set a goal and not achieve it without saying, oh, well, they didn't want me, I'm not good enough, and I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't have to tell myself anything. I would just say, I wanted that, I didn't get it, but at least I went after it. So let me go find a new target, because I'm never gonna stop having a target. And that's not particular person, it's an experience. So it's not to have a crush on a particular person, it's to develop a crush. Like, I want to be in a relationship. I want to be loved. And what does that love look like? And so that's what you're seeking. And as you seek that, Spirit will call that into you. And so the first time it manifests, it may not be the way. I look at it like a funnel. You know how you have funnels and things funnel through? When you start asking higher power or spirit for something, here's your ask at the very top of the funnel, right? But all the things that you unintentionally just been going through life with no purpose, and you, before you ask, all that's still coming through the funnel. So now once you start asking, what you want is at the top of the funnel, and it has to make it all the way to the bottom of the funnel. But when you finally you say, this is the type of relationship that I want. This is the type of career that I want. This is the type of family that I want. This is the type of job or whatever. This is what I want. Okay, God's like, boom, I got you. Excuse me, I wasn't supposed to say the G word. Spirit's like, boom, I got you. And so, but it's at the top of the funnel. So as soon as you set that intention, stuff still has to keep coming out the funnel, right? So when you say, this is the type of relationship I'm seeking, this is the type of friendship I'm seeking, people are going to start showing up. And you're going to be like, oh, well, they have one of your 5 requirements. So you can enjoy that one, but you don't like the other one, so that kind of just goes to the side. The next person shows up and has 2. Don't settle. Don't ever settle. The next person shows up and has 3. And you can have friendships with all these people, but understand this is not what you asked for. I asked for all 5 things. And when you connect to higher power, you understand, is higher power going to give you one of the things you asked for or all 5? What do you believe? If you can create, and you're creating it because you don't even believe, so if you can create your higher power, is your higher power going to give you one thing you asked for or all 5 things?
All 5.
What's your higher power going to give you?
What he thinks is good for me.
So now we're going into wants and desires. Do you mind if I ask her about her faith?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. What is your background?
I'm
I should ask you, do you mind if I ask you about your faith?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Christian.
Christian. Okay, so you read the Bible.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the Bible it says God will give you the desire of your heart. The desires of your heart. Are you familiar with that?
Not really.
Okay, well it says that. It says according to God's riches and glory. So as you glorify God, God will give back to you the desires of your heart. So, to your understanding, God's going to give me what God knows is good for me. Correct. But God also gives you the desires of your heart. So if you're thinking about your perfect friendship, you want someone who listens to you, you want someone who communicates with you, you want someone who returns your phone calls, you want someone who, what else y'all want in friendship? Someone to hang out with. Okay, you want anything else?
No.
Common interests?
Someone who can push me to be better.
Ooh. I mess with you. Yes. Someone who pushes you to your highest potential. Like if I'm sitting here talking to you and I leave the same or I leave worse, I don't want you as a friend. I want to walk away from this friendship like, boom, let's go, right? I love it. Yes. I just learned that you could get that from friends in my 40s. You know that at your age. That's beautiful. And now you know because you're in this room. You can make friends with people that push you to your highest potential. And it's not, girl, you need to do this. It's, what are you working on? And now you guys can start bouncing ideas off of each other and growing each other. All right? So, a want is just kind of surface level. I want this, but I'll take that. A desire is something that you feel inside. Have you ever just, you felt it inside? Have you ever felt that you wanted something? That's a desire. Now, just because you feel like you want it, if you're not preparing yourself for it, like, I want this perfect friend, but when you pull that perfect friend in, if you're not giving what they desire, you're gonna lose the friend, right? I want this perfect job. Ooh, I want this job. God's gonna give you that job, but if you're not prepared for it, you're gonna lose the job. So God is going to give you what you're prepared for, which means whatever you're praying for, or spirit, whatever you're praying for, you also have to be prepared for it. So spirit, I want this type of friendship. Spirit's going to be like, okay, I need to prepare you to be the friend to the person that wants you to be their friend, right? Because it's not just what you want, it's what they want. If you want me to grow you, I want you to be able to grow me. Can you grow me? If you can, then now you're taking from me, but you're not giving to me. You understand? You know, if you want to have common interests and common hobbies, you just want someone to have common hobbies with you, but you don't want to, because look, if you could have two hobbies and we have this one hobby in common, we both have a hobby that's not in common, and you only want to do the hobby we have in common. You never want to do the other hobby. You're okay with doing your other hobby by yourself, but I want to do my hobby with you. You have to be willing to be that friend. So when you ask Spirit for something, the desires of your heart, Spirit's like, okay, I'm gonna get you ready for this. So now you're gonna start going through tests. And when you're going through tests, you're being taught and you're learning. And now you get to decide, am I gonna be sad because I said that I wanted these friends and now I lost these friends? I'm sad. No, God said, Spirit said, you want these friends. And you can sit down and say, okay, I'm sad because I lost my friends. Why am I sad? Well, because I don't have anyone to talk to anymore. Is it really those friends, or was the friendship that you're missing? You understand? It's you said it earlier, no, you mingling, distant boyfriend, attached to the attraction. She's not attached to the boy. She's attached to the attraction. So when you start losing friends, you're not attached to those friends. You're attached to the attachment. So are we truly sad that we lost those friends when we ask God for these friends? Do you see how God Spirit will start moving things out of the way and changing your life when you connect into a desire of your heart? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, boom. Let me know look, my kids tell me I talk too much, so if you space out, just let me know and we'll move to another topic. But my point is, God is going to give you what God knows that you need, but God's also going to give you the desires of your heart. So if you go to God and you say, Spirit, and you say, man, I want this particular job. You don't want that particular job at that particular company. You want the experience of what you think you'll get from that job at that company. And Spirit may say, I know you'll be miserable there. I'm going to take you over here. And when you get over there, you wasted time being sad. I don't want it, because you're attached to the attachment. You're not attached to that. You set a goal. You said, I want this. And we don't get what we want, we get sad. That's all this is. She said she wanted something and she's sad about it. She's sad because she didn't get what she wanted. Not because of the boy. She didn't get what she wanted. So now we're looking at friendships. We're looking at careers. We're looking at schools that we're trying to get into. You have to think about, yes, I want to go to this particular school. But why do you want to go to that school? Because I want to experience this. I want to experience this. I want to. Now, if you have, this is the goal school, then that's different. But if you're just like, I want this job because my friend works there and she's making a lot of money. Well, you don't want that job. You want that money. You want the freedom that money gives you. So we have to start digging deeper, and that's what we're doing. We're digging deeper. I don't want this job. Okay, why do I want this job? Because I have the opportunity to make this money. I get to work with my friend. Okay, so now we look at all these things, and this one job only gives you access to working with your friend. Otherwise, you can get all these other things somewhere else. So now God is going to give you, or Spirit's going to give you the desires of your heart. So now, instead of here, you're going here. And you're actually more fulfilled here. So that is the long answer to, yes, God is going to give you what God knows that you can handle, but God's also going to give you what you ask for. I used to believe that I should just settle for whatever I get in life. But I also had to grow my God up. When you don't have faith, that's when you really can create faith. When you're ready, you can create the most beautiful relationship with your higher power, because no one ever told you what your higher power is. Someone told me. I went to church. I grew up in the church. My background is Christianity too. So someone told me how big God can be. And it wasn't until I actually sought God for myself and I saw God is as big as I believe. So why would God bring me one of the 5 things I'm asking for when I believe that, and if we're thinking father-daughter relationship, my father's going to give me everything I want. My earthly father's going to try to give me everything I want, right? My earthly mother's going to try to give me within their capabilities. So if my all-knowing, all-having higher father has access to everything, why would they only give me one of the 5? Because God is just a theory. Spirit is just a theory. We're making it up. So if I were to make it up, how big can I make it? Am I going to make it to where, they're only going to give me what I want or what I need? Or can I make it, they're going to give me everything that I need and everything I want? Because the Bible also says you will be so full that you can't contain it. So God's not just going to give you what you need. God's going to give you in abundance so you can give to others. If you can only grow yourself, you cannot now go to a friend and grow your friend, because you only got you. You only got enough for you. You can't help anybody else. So now you put limitations on what you can receive because you just need what you need. But what if you had enough to help others? So just be expansive with that. All right. I don't even remember why I asked that question. Oh, our filter. So when things start filtering through, you're like, I asked God for these 5 things. These are the desires of my heart. If I could have the perfect person around me, perfect friendship, this is what it would look like. All right. And you're developing yourself and you're becoming, and you may say, as you develop yourself, this alters a little bit. This alters a little bit. This alters this. Things change as you get older. I'm sure your perfect friend at 4 is not your perfect friend at your current age. So things alter. So you're looking at character, someone who's honest, someone who's reliable, someone who's consistent, someone, you're looking at character traits, not necessarily somebody who dresses cute. But are they a crap human? So you want someone who, has a personal sense of self and cares how they present themselves. But also understand, if you want to hang out with someone who cares about how they present, you got to care how you present, because if they care about themselves, they probably care about who they hang out with, right? So you have to reflect what you desire. So that's personal development. I have to prepare myself for what I want. And God's going to tell you how to do it. Spirit's going to tell you how to do it. Don't let the world tell you. That's the prayer. That's the help me get ready for what I'm asking for. Help me get ready for the career. Help me get ready for the family. Help me get ready. Everything. Everything needs to be intentional from today forward. So anyway, when things start coming through this filter, understand what you asked higher power for is up there, but you got to filter through all that for it to come down. So as soon as something shows up, don't be like, thank you. And then, now you're in a terrible relationship. But because they had that one thing, you thought that was a blessing. No, because when there's good, there's bad, right? So when the good hears your prayer, the bad hears your prayer. And so you got to pay attention to, is this giving me what I asked my higher power for? I asked for this. I didn't ask for all this. So this ain't from my higher power. This is something else. I asked for this. I didn't ask for all this. So that means this ain't from my higher power. Now, when you get this, and this is bonus, oh, I didn't even know this was possible. That's from your higher power. And this is called discernment. Have you heard of discernment? Have you heard of discernment? And intuition? Have you heard of intuition? Have you heard of intuition? Okay, so they kind of go hand in hand. Discernment is just knowing it is what it is. Like I could come in here and say, Here's an apple. Boom. Snow White. Here's an apple. If Snow White had discernment, she would have known that this don't look right. Look at the old lady. She looked like she was up to something. Like, you ain't taking apples from her. I'm gonna take an apple, but I ain't taking an apple from her. She had no discernment. Discernment is the ability. Write that word down, discernment. I don't know how to spell it, but go look that word up, and that's something that you want to work on. Discernment. Discernment is knowing when somebody is here trying to pull your chain and get over on you, and when this is something you know you need to line up with. Discernment. And when somebody's talking to you and you're sitting with a friend who can grow you and they say something that you're like, I'm going to research that later. Take a note in your phone, in your little journal. If I say something, take a note and go look it up later. That's how you grow yourself. That's how you're not wasting your time. So now, do you guys have any questions? You know, I'm a talker, but if you guys want more information, just let me know. So let's look at there. There's no choices here. So if there's no choices of people to date here, of the people he would want to date, should my be sad about that? Or is that out of her control?
Out of her control.
All right, so boom. Now we have race and there's no one to date here. 2 reasons why she could choose to be sad that he didn't choose her. Because at the end of the day, race, that is, he didn't choose her. For whatever reason. There's no one to choose here. He didn't choose her, you know? So now we're like, he doesn't like to mingle his groups. He wants to keep the person that he's dating separate than the people he goes to school with. How much control does he have in that? A lot of control, no control, is out of her control. It's out of her control. So should she be sad about that?
No.
Another reason why she should not be sad. I put distant boyfriend. Does anybody understand that note? Distance.
Yeah.
Oh, he wants to be a distant boyfriend. He doesn't want to be an in-person, because remember, when you're in person, that's totally different than when you're a distant boyfriend. So if that's his preference, how much control does she have in that?
None.
A lot? None? None. Okay, so boom. Another reason why we shouldn't be sad. She's attached to the attraction. So it wasn't this particular boy, it's the attraction. So now we got some questions. Is this something that she should be sad about? Is this something that's in her control, out of her control? What is this?
I think in a way, like it is in her control.
I think so. What do you think, V?
I think it might have started off as like it's in her control, but maybe it just got out of hand. Her attachment grew, and I think that maybe that got out of her control. It
Okay.
kind of escaped her. Maybe if she had started early, realized that, oh, I can't help this, but I can control it. Wait, like if you start early, like oh, this is out of my control, but my emotions, those are in my control. So maybe she started early and realized that earlier. Maybe she would have been able to kind of like end it there, but because her attachment grew, maybe it's kind of like it got out of her control.
So now we're talking self-awareness. We're talking about emotional maturity. So now this is growth areas. Even before you start liking something, you already know that you know yourself enough to know. But if this is the first time that she's in this situation, she didn't know that this could happen. So this is why we pay attention to ourselves. So it's not, I just get this way. No, the first time you manifest a behavior that you know doesn't serve your goals, pay attention. And pay attention, this is why we journal. Pay attention to how we led up to this particular spot. Because now, as soon as you start building up to this spot, you're like, ooh, I know what's coming next. Begin with the end in mind, right? I know what's coming next. So you can stop yourself. And that way it doesn't get out of your control, because you tracked it in 12th grade. So you don't have to be 30 years old still experiencing the same behaviors that tripped you up when you were in high school, because you started tracking it you started paying attention, like, I know when I start doing this, this is gonna happen, so I need to catch myself. So boom. So attached to the attraction, that's something that she potentially could be sad about. Refocus her attention. So now she's upset or she's sad because now she has to focus on something else. I was focused on you and now I gotta focus on something else. I gotta go find a new crush. That's what I'm interpreting from what I wrote there. Is that something that she can be sad about, or is that out of her control?
I think that's in her control. Cause like, I feel like this whole thing could be like, instead of being sad, like you could take it as like an experience and like grow from it. And like, so that way next time she has like a crush, she won't get that mindset like, oh, he didn't choose me because of this or because of the way I am or like anything. Like, just get this mindset that like, oh, he didn't choose me, but like don't like you said, like don't tear yourself down because someone didn't choose you. Like use like just, I don't really know how to explain it. Just like grow from that and like don't really like let it get to you.
If you have 100% of your mental space, you can either spend it tearing yourself down or learning from it. Period. Are we growing or are we setting ourselves back? It's a choice. So you said it perfectly. So I think this is something that she can be a little sad about. And alter her feelings, which is a bit of the same, you know. She can't be his friend, or she can't have a crush on him in their friendship anymore because now he has a girlfriend and that makes no sense. So she has to alter her feelings. So I think she could have a little bit of feelings about having to, like, I can't like you to the depth that I liked you before because now you got a girlfriend. So I could be sad about that. So of the possibilities of why she's sad, we came up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of those 7 possibilities of why she's sad, we have decided or determined that 4 of those reasons are out of her control. She can't do nothing about that. So she doesn't even need to give any energy to that. Or if she does, it needs to be, minimal, 1%. But honestly, I think it's silly to be mad about somebody who doesn't want to mingle groups, wants to be a distant boyfriend, did not choose her, and isn't attracted to a race. Like, that's silly. You can't control that. You're wasting your time by being upset about that. But now we could look at being sad about being attached to the attraction, refocusing her attention, and altering her feelings. And so now she has to decide how much energy she's going to give this. Now, attached to the attachment, now we can say, attached to the attraction, now we can actually look at the attraction. Why is she attached to the attraction? Why would somebody be attached to the attraction?
Maybe it just brings them some sort of maybe just more hype in their life.
Something interesting. So it gives me some hype. All right. So now I gotta go find another source of hype. So was it ever the boy? It was the hype. So now that we know that it's the hype and not the boy, now we can seek the hype. You understand? So now we took an unhealthy fixation and turned it into, I'm seeking something that gives me a sense of purpose. It gives me something to be excited about. That can be anything. So now we're not fixating on a person, and now we're not stalking someone, because some people get to the point of stalking, calling and all that's unnecessary. Because you're seeking the hype. Go get the hype in a healthy way. Go seek someone who wants you. So, did we learn something? All right. So the reason why we journal, though, is, 1, we did this in a list form. And this is just a way that whenever you guys are working with something like, what college do I want to go to? What do I want to do after I graduate? All these different things. Well, why do I want to do that? Well, I want to do that because my mom did it. That's what's been demonstrated for me. This is what everybody before me else did it. What do you want to do? Why are you talking yourself out of that? Well, because I haven't seen anyone do it, so I have no idea. But if you now take that into a heart's desire, Spirit will start bringing people into you to help you start achieving those goals for yourself. That's why you begin with the end in mind. That's called visualization. That's called manifestation. That's called creating realities. When you begin with the end in mind, that means that this is my destination right here. This is my end. Now, I don't know how I'm gonna get here. I have no idea how I'm gonna become an astronaut. I just want to become an astronaut. Now, that heart's desire. I want to become an astronaut. God's like, boom, let's go. So now you're being placed here, you're being placed here, you're being placed here, you're being placed here. And none of this stuff makes sense, and none of this makes sense, but all of a sudden, boom, you're an astronaut. So when you begin with the end in mind, if you say, I want to be an astronaut, and this is exactly how I want to become an astronaut, but God's like, or Spirit's like, I'm going to make you an astronaut, but this ain't your pathway. So if you put limitations on God, you're going to experience disappointment, because you're going to become an astronaut, but your journey to becoming an astronaut is, but you thought it was going to be this. And so as soon as your Spirit takes you over here, you're like, I'm not going to be an astronaut. Then Spirit takes you over here, I'm not going to be an astronaut. I'm not going to be an astronaut. I'm an astronaut. Do you understand? You could have been joyous over here, joyous over here, joyous over here, joyous over here. Do you understand that whatever your goal is, do you guys want to be mothers, wives, career women? Okay, so this is your end in mind. You don't know what that's going to look like to get there. But if you keep Spirit first, and you understand that who you believe your higher self to be wants nothing but the best for you. Anytime you're not experiencing and you can't learn from it. I'm going through something in my life where I'm just like, man, Spirit must not like me. But if I can take that and learn from it, it's not that Spirit doesn't like me, it's that Spirit's teaching me something, right? So we can take any situation. Y'all got a sub today. Y'all could have been in here filling out or reading the packet and yada yada. But we're making the best out of I wouldn't say a bad situation. I'm enjoying myself, But, we're making the best out of a situation. We're learning from it. So wherever life takes you, ladies, learn from it. It could not feel good, because you know how they make diamonds? You know how diamonds are made? I don't know the full process either, but it's a coal. And pressure, high pressure, diamond. Pressure, diamond. Let's think about a plant growing. Does a plant start at the top or the bottom of the soil? Is the sun at the top or the bottom of the soil?
Top.
So when you are reaching for your goal, you have to understand you're going to go through some darkness. It's not going to feel good. And you can choose to be sad. And if something has you in a space of sadness, you get like, okay, why am I sad? How much of that is out of my control? Okay, this is what I'm in control. Am I truly sad about this, or am I sad about something else? And this is what journaling can get you. This is what self-reflection can get you. Prayer is more so communication and communicating back. Journaling is sorting stuff out for yourself and saying, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. Also, this is what I hope for. So this is the life experience I'm living right now, but this is the life experience I desire for myself. Write it out. Now you're doing what is called manifesting. You're doing what is called creating the reality that you desire. You could spend your time talking about what you don't want. It's great sitting with your friend and be like, girl, my life sucks. Ooh, my life sucks too. Let's talk about why our life sucks. What kind of energy are you putting into the world? Are you going to create more of what sucks or more of what you want?
More of what you want.
Whatever you focus on, that's what you create. It says it right there. It says, watch your thoughts for they become words. Watch your words for they become actions. Watch your actions for they become habits. Watch your habits because they become character. Watch your character because they become your destiny. What you think you become. So what you guys spend your time doing is what you're creating. What do you spend your time doing? Reading. What are you reading?
Romance or action stories.
I love romance. I enjoyed those in school as well. What else? What do you spend your time doing?
Recently, I've just been doing a bunch of schoolwork.
Okay, schoolwork. What are your goals after high school?
Going to college.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like first I would like to like get a job and like get some money, and then I would like to start college, so I have at least some money.
Okay, cool. So what are we studying?
Anesthesiology.
Okay.
I forgot what it was called. It was a specific word, but I wanted to be an eye doctor.
Oh, optometrist?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are pursuing optometry and you are pursuing anesthesiology. Now, wanting and pursuing are two different things, right? I wanted to be an author. I do have 2 books, but that's beside the point. I'm a substitute teacher right now. I wanted to be an author. Am I an author? We're not going to talk about those 2 books. Am I a famous author? Am I traveling the world doing book signings and speaking? No, so I wanted something, but I did not pursue it. I did not begin with the end in mind. You desire, or do you want to be an anesthesiologist?
I don't really have something it's not like what I desire is to be, I want to be a mom. And I want my kids to live a comfortable life. I want to give them that. So that's my desire, and I guess anesthesiology is just a way to get there.
Okay, so you identified a way. So your desire that you're going to take to spirit, that if you haven't already, because we can't wait until we are something to become it, right? You have to become the mother now. Now, I'm not telling you go have no babies. That is not at all what I'm telling you. But I'm telling you, you don't wait until you're a mother to become a mother. You don't wait until you're a wife to become a wife. You don't wait until you're creating a comfortable life to start creating the mindset to create the comfortable life. So you understand that anesthesiology is the only way that I presently know of to create the lifestyle that I desire for my family. So now when you go to higher spirit, you say, I desire to live a comfortable life. I desire for my children to have everything that they want and need. I desire to be able to give to my community. So if someone comes to you and says, hey, this is what I need, I desire to be able to, and it not set me back, be the lender, not the borrower. Do you have a Bible?
Yes.
Do you read it? It doesn't, no judgment. So start reading it. Start to truly get to know. Don't let nobody else tell you who your higher power is. Pick up your word and start interpreting it for yourself. Now, what people have told you is called indoctrination. They are telling you what they want you to believe. And that's okay, but also know that you can believe something else. So get in there and start reading it and saying, this is what they told me, but this is what I'm receiving. This is what I'm receiving. And if you're receiving something different than what they told you, now you have to put on one side of your paper, this is what they told me, this is what I'm receiving. And now we're going to say, what benefits you? What's going to grow you? What's going to keep you stuck? And what you'll find is a lot of times in the institution of religion, they'll tell you things to keep you stuck. Because like Dee has the opportunity to learn is that it can be this big, or it can be this big. And this is what religion tells us. This is what religion tells us God is. But God is this. Spirit is this. And so maybe it's not anesthesiology. You want a comfortable life. What is a comfortable life? What does that look like with the amount of children that you want to have. So now you're going and doing some research and you're like, okay, this is what the median household size is, da 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 da. You're putting intentionality into your next. Y'all only got a couple more months. You may not become a mother for another 5 years, 6, 7, 8 years, but you're positioning yourself to have that comfortable lifestyle. I need to make 120K, you know, a month, not a month, I wish, annually, before or after taxes. That's my goal. That's the end in mind. I need to make this amount of money in order to live. I want to travel. I want to do these things. I want my kids to be in after school activities. This is what I want for my children. And make sure when you are doing the things that can make children, until you are in the position to provide the life that you desire for your children, you are protecting yourself, okay? Don't let no little boy. Are we both attracted to boys? Okay, I don't know, I gotta talk to my room. All right, don't let no little boy trap you and ruin your life. And I'm not saying that children ruin your life. I'm saying if you have children before you're ready to have children, because your goal is a comfortable life, and you let some little boy talk you into, and now you got a whole child and you ain't even set yourself up. And so now you've already took yourself off of your goal. But are we gonna be sad about that? Or are we gonna just keep moving? We're gonna learn from our mistakes and keep moving. All right, so now to you, D. Optometrist. This is it? We wanna be an optometrist.
It's not like you said, I don't really, it doesn't feel like a desire. It's really just like something that, because I still want to be like open-minded. That's just something like out of every career that I've wanted to explore, like that one like actually like kind of clicked with me. Because I don't know, but I don't know if I feel it like as a desire, but it is something that I would want to like pursue, like you said.
Okay, so you guys be okay with you graduate and you don't jump into something, but understand your desire is a comfortable life for your family. So do not settle for anything less, period. Don't, oh, I didn't enroll in school, so let me just get this job at such and such and such and such, and 10 years later you're still at such and such. You will be miserable. Do you understand? Do not allow this life to set you up for failure. You don't have to jump into school. To jump into school and you're not ready, you're also setting yourself up for failure. I let somebody talk me into going to school. They're like, you need to be in school, you need to be in school. I was like, I don't know what to study. That's why I'm a teacher. And I'm a sub, I'm not a real teacher, because I don't want to be a teacher. This is a hard job, I don't want to do it. Man, when I was a teacher, it stressed me out, almost killed me. But, you know, your goal, write that down. Your heart's desire is to create a comfortable life for your family. And so from today forward, you're going to start figuring out what is necessary for you to do that. Every day of your life, I'm gonna put that up in the ether for you. Every day of your life going forward is going to teach you how to achieve that goal. A comfortable life for your family. And you have to also understand that your family isn't just you living. You're creating children. And so you also have to create children who know how to create a comfortable life so that their children can have a comfortable life. So it's not just you getting yourself to a point where you can provide for your children, but you also have to raise your children in the awareness. Remember when you said earlier, maybe if she would have started earlier knowing that she needed to have this under control, I'm letting you know now that you have to raise yourself beyond whatever your parents are gonna raise you, you're gonna have to raise yourself beyond that. Whatever this world is going to raise you, you're going to have to raise yourself beyond that. Because the higher you get yourself, the higher you can take your children. And don't you want them to be limitless? You want them to go as far as they can go. If you can be a anesthesiologist, your children can be surgeons. If your children can be surgeons, your grandchildren can own hospitals. If your grandchildren can own hospitals, your great-grandchildren can yada yada. Do you understand? As far as you can push yourself, which means you need to study being a mother. You need to study how to encourage people, how to overcome blocks, how to push yourself. Just go to YouTube and watch videos on self-development. Type in self-development. Do you guys already watch that? Okay, so of the time that you spend reading and the time that you spend studying, study you. You matter. What are your grades now?
Pretty much all A's.
That's easy work. You don't need to keep studying to keep doing that, right? You could kind of let off of your school studies and now start challenging yourself more and start studying yourself. Okay? Figuring out, do you spend a percentage of your time not happy? Or are you happy all the time?
I don't think I'm happy all the time, but I wouldn't also say like I'm sad all the time.
So there's a percentage where you're not happy all the time.
Yeah.
So go study that. Go study happiness. Teach yourself about what it is to naturally be happy. You know your emotions and your feelings, I don't. So you're an excellent studier. You've taught yourself how to seek out information and to go find new ideas. Is that what you do? Or do you go and search for the answer they told you to search for?
No, I try to I try to expand on the answer, try to, I don't know, yeah, try to expand my knowledge on the topic and everything.
And I see that because you said I would like to expand on what she said. So she gave an answer and you said I have an additional piece to that answer. So I do see that in you. They'll tell you, go find the color red, and you're like, okay, I found red, but I also found maroon. I also found orange red. I've also found, so you found variations of the answer, and I want to let you know you can go create your own answer. This world's gonna tell you to go look over here. This is like the discernment. This world is designed to keep you like this. They want you to be the next generation of your previous generation, whatever that is. I never saw my mother go to work. My dad was in the military and he retired. And so after retirement, I never saw my dad go to work. Is it a wonder why I don't like to work? Now, I'm a hard worker. I'm creating what I desire, but I don't want to go do a job. I don't want to go work because it's in walking distance and so I could get to work easily. I don't want to go do that. I love doing this, but I'm not teaching you anything. I'm not a teacher. I'm growing you. I'm developing you. I'm teaching you how to be a better person. The version of you that you want to be, that's what I'm doing. I'm not teaching you about no damn fast forms. I'm not a teacher. But I'm doing what I love. So this world wants you to be the next generation of what's been demonstrated for you. And I want you ladies to walk away from this conversation knowing you could be the next generation of whatever it is that you want to be. And it may not be an optometrist, it may not be an anesthesiologist, but you will create that comfortable life because you know today that is possible. And you will not let anything trip you up. So if something is taking you off of your focus, get rid of it. That's not God. If you want to get distracted with your romance novels, read a couple chapters, then get on your business of you. Because until you are the you that you want to be, you ain't got no time to be wasting reading no romance novels and no action. You ain't got time. That's brain decompression. Out, journal. Whew. Scroll timeline. All right, journal. Whew. Scroll timeline. But even when I'm scrolling my timeline, I'm studying. I'm taking in knowledge. And it doesn't always have to be. I could be watching cats, but I'm still learning something from the cats because I'm learning from cats just being cats and moving how divinity intended them to move. You understand we're the only thing that spirit created that can't figure it out? Everything else spirit created. The leaves know how to be green when they're supposed to be green. They know how to be brown when they're supposed to be brown. The cats know how to get what they need when they need. The birds know how to go to the south when they're supposed to go to the south, and go to the whatever the opposite is when it's time to go to the opposite. Humans are the only ones that can't figure it out. So if I'm watching a cat video, I'm watching, this is how I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be in flow. I'm not supposed to be, this is what this world wants you to be. This is distraction. So don't allow yourself to be distracted. If you enjoy studying, study you. And I don't necessarily think you want to be an optometrist because you don't even remember the name of the job. And that's not judgment. That's just saying I think that may be what has presented the most interesting to you. But you don't even remember the name, so it ain't that interesting. So now we have to say, why do I want to become an optometrist? Because I don't know. It's going to create a comfortable life for her family, which is what she truly desires. So now you have to go home and figure out, because you guys are seniors, y'all ain't got time to play. And you ain't got time to enroll in school simply because, well, that's the next step. That's how they told me I'm gonna make money. And then you have all this debt and you didn't finish. Or now you're in a career and you hate it. I don't want to be a dang anesthesiologist. I don't want to be an optometrist, but dang it, I'm invested now. So you gotta, you can do and be whatever you want, but you have to really understand what it is that you want. And if you want to be a wife one day, read books on being a wife. What's been demonstrated for you, there's more out there. I'm just now learning how to be a wife. Did you need something? Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just now learning how to be a wife, and I've been married for 7 years, which means I spent 7 years ruining my relationship because I didn't know how to be a wife. Do you want to be a wife one day?
Yeah.
Read books on being a wife. Study being a wife. What are the qualities of a good wife? Do we already talk? Do you want to be a mother?
I haven't. It's not something I see myself doing, so I don't really know.
Okay, but just for the sake of preparedness, do you think that you will have? Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
So do you think you'll have nieces and nephews?
Mm,
Friends with children? Do you think you'll ever be around children at some point?
yeah, I think I will.
Have a friend that's like, oh my God, this is what I'm experiencing with my kid. And you keep like, I don't have kids, but this is what I read in a book. So maybe do a little studying about, what it is, what parenthood looks like, what parenting techniques are out there. Just so you can help somebody if they ever come to you and say, hey, yada, yada. And you're like, oh, I read this in a book. I don't know if it'll work, but try it out. You may help somebody. All right? You want to be, if you become an optometrist, do you want to be, successful? Do you want to be an optometrist, or an optometrist?
An optometrist.
Yeah, you want to be at the top of your game. So now you're studying successful people, because you may not be trying to be an entrepreneur, but an entrepreneur is a successful person. An entrepreneur is someone who took something and created something. So study them. Study people who are successful. Read articles about success and what people are doing to create that success formula. And now you take that formula and you create your success. Whether it's optometry or whatever, you may pivot. As you grow and you research, you may decide you want to do something else with yourself. But you want to be successful. And now you know a success formula because you read books about success. You want to maybe be community focused, help other people. So read books about and study different ways that you can get involved in your community. And that's how you just become a better person. What are you guys receiving from what my ramblings are saying? Did I give you guys anything?
Yeah, I think definitely don't settle. I think work for what you want.
Yeah. Did I give you something?
Kind of the same thing. Don't settle. If it's that like the path that we're like on might not exactly be what we're looking for, but eventually, if we put in the work, if we ourselves put in the effort, we can get there.
Okay. So I want you to understand, regardless of what life has demonstrated for you, you don't have to just work. That's not what Spirit intended for you to do. You don't have to struggle with your children. You can be friends with your children. You can raise your children. Wouldn't it be nice if I don't know if your parents are, but wouldn't it be nice if your parents were your friends and they understood you and they helped you figure things out? Instead of you over here and your parents are over here and you can't really talk to them because, one, if you talk to them about your real feelings, they will get upset with you, or, they just don't understand. Wouldn't it be nice if you could actually have and I don't know what you have, and if you do have it, you're like, yeah, it is nice. Wouldn't it be nice if you can actually just go and talk to your parents like you talk to your friends? So make sure when you have children, make sure when your nieces and nephews or your friends' children come to you, or your friends come to you and they say, I'm struggling with my child, you can tell them, be your child's friend. Be your child's friend. And don't be one of your child's little friends like, oh yeah, we going and drinking and smoking and West Coasting together. No. I'm your friend because you're building trust with your child. You can come to me and talk to me about anything. Why? Because I knew if I could go to my parents and talk to me about anything, then they could have helped me. But when our kids can't come to us and talk to us, we can't help them because we don't know what the heck's going on. And when they talk to us, so we don't. So make sure you provide that space for your children. And that's how you're going to be able to grow with your children. Because you don't want to grow apart from your children. So I think I've given you, time is our class over? 10:56, 11:05. So I will give you guys decompression time. So the whole point in journaling is, if you write down, today I had a conversation with Miss Taylor about yada, 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 yada. And you keep documenting. Today, this is what I did. Today, this is what I did. And you're also using your time to develop yourself. I had a conversation with Miss Taylor and she talked about this. Why the heck was she talking about this to me? Well, maybe she was talking about this to me because of this. Maybe she was talking to me about this. I don't know. So now you're giving your space to theorize. You know how they have you read this stuff and they say, what did you pull from it? You're pulling from your life. That's a waste of time. But that is teaching you a skill if you allow it. It's teaching you to go through life, and then when you get home, write down, this is what I experienced and this is why. Now you're seeing why Spirit is doing what Spirit is doing, and you see where Spirit is leading you. You want to be an anesthesiologist, or you want to be comfortable. Now you see what Spirit is doing. Now you see why you had this conversation. Now you see why you're over here. Individually, this makes absolutely no sense. This woman is crazy, and why is she talking to us like this? But if 4 years from now you look up and you're like, yo, and a piece of that was this conversation you had today, now you understand why Spirit brought you here, right? And you can put these pieces together because you wrote it down. And understand, when you journal and you figure yourself out, and you're like, this is what I'm experiencing, and you figure it out because you wrote it down. You didn't just say, I was sad and then I was happy. Well, what did you do? I don't know. But if you actually figure out what you did, one, you could take those pieces and create your happiness. Because this is what makes me sad. I don't deal in that anymore. This is what makes me happy. I do more of that. But also, you can now take this book and give it to your children and say, you may have some of my same struggles. Here's how I worked myself out. And they can take their books. Here's how I worked myself out. So you understand, once you solve yourself and you document it, now you can take that documentation. It's just like these books that you're reading. If they were nonfiction, someone documented it. And now you can go get the knowledge from it. That's all your journal is. You're documenting your life. You're documenting your thoughts. You're documenting what you did to fix you. And now you can take that And I'm going to tell you how to make some money. You take your journal and you publish it. And then that's called residual income. Because now someone who may have had similar struggles to you can pick up your book for $14.95. And now you just made that money on simply just fixing yourself. And now that's money that's going to help your family be comfortable. That's money that's going to da-da-da-da-da. But at the very least, you take this and you say, here, children, here, niece, here, nephew, here, whoever, here's how I solved myself. And they can pick that up. And instead of stumbling through life, trying to figure it out, you gave them some light. So maybe consider journaling, simply because what you may not recognize now, but we live in a loop. Whatever we do today is going to create tomorrow. Today is different because I'm here, right? This is an anomaly. This isn't what usually happens in your day, is it? This is something different. So because we're doing something different today, potentially you'll do something different tomorrow. Potentially you'll do something different tomorrow. If you take this moment for granted and you don't learn from it, tomorrow you'll just go back to your regular routine. But what happens is, if I spend my day doing one or a line, what is that creating for tomorrow? Is that creating this type of day, or is this creating this type of day? One or two? Two. All right. So if I spend the next day like that, what kind of day is that creating? This type of day or this type of day? One or two? Okay, so you have to understand, whatever you're doing today is creating your tomorrow. So the more you do something different today, you're going to create a different tomorrow. So instead of going home and reading the same books, maybe do something a little different. And that different you do is for you. It's self-love, self-development. Get to know yourself. Something you want to know about yourself. Something that you see the people in your family struggling with that you don't want to, because they're demonstrating for you how to overcome, or they're demonstrating for you how to struggle. What are they demonstrating? If they're struggling with it, are they showing you how to overcome it, or they're showing you how to struggle with it?
How to struggle with it?
What do you think?
Both.
Elaborate.
I think that if you see a family member struggling with something, they're showing you how to struggle with it, but also a way to learn from it.
If you learn from it. So they're showing you struggle if you're just paying attention to the struggle. But if you're paying attention to them struggling, now you can go seek a way to bypass that. You don't have to have the same issues that your mom and your dad have, or whoever your guardians are, because you're looking at them and you're like, I don't want to experience that. So how can I change my trajectory? How can I change my life? Okay? So look at everybody around you. Look at your classmates. Like, you see them working through stuff. Are you guys the only two seniors in the school, or just in this elective?
Well, the rest aren't here. They're not here.
Okay, there's a couple. Okay. All right. Well, your peers below you, people outside the school, but just look at people and see the type of lives they created. And you can then say, I want that. How can I get it? I don't want that. How can I avoid it? So instead of spending your entire day studying school stuff, create a variable where you're studying something to grow yourself or to avoid something. Instead of reading your books on the topics that you read, since you enjoy reading, go get some non-fiction books, and now you created a different tomorrow. The Bible talks about putting seed in the ground. Whatever seed you put in the ground, and this is just life, whatever. If I plant a tomato seed, what am I going to grow? If you put a depression seed in the ground, what are you going to grow? If you put a failure seed in the ground, what are you going to grow? If you put a belief in yourself seed in the ground, what are you going to grow?
Believe in yourself.
So what the heck are we putting in the ground from this moment forward? Tell me, what y'all putting in the ground? Focus, determination. What y'all putting in the ground?
Self-growth.
Self-growth. Okay. Write it down so you know what to study. Self-development, self-growth. How can I grow myself? Search that in YouTube. How can I be smarter? How can I be what? How can I prepare myself to be a mother? Watch those videos. Read those books. Read books on motherhood. Don't wait until you're a mother and you screw up your relationship with your kids to be like, okay, I got to figure this out. Know before you go in. And if you have siblings, try it out with your siblings. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you, ladies.